Let's see. I bet you Twitch isn't really connected because it said it connected all by itself this time. Hey, what's going on? Nobody ever watches on Twitch anyway. What's going on, everybody? Hey, we're back. A little razzled and frazzled, whatever, but it's good. Let's see if you guys can see. You guys there? Let's see. I'm playing a different one, so. Okay, good. What's all this? But Rumble has its own meme coin. Is that what I just saw? That's ridiculous. Hey, it's on. Woohoo! Hey, it's on. All right, cool. We're good. Awesome. So we are official. Nice. Now let's test it. Let's test it for the sake of testing things. All right. Is it when you hear it, is it echoing? Seems like it might be. Is it echoing? I don't hear it on my end, but it could be echoing. What am I doing? Yeah, cool. It's not echoing either. Okay, cool. I'll try it one more time just so you guys get it. Let's play that one. That's funny. That's the old thing. Let's see.
I know, right? It's sending home. So what'd you guys decide? Which way are we going? To do what?
Hey, Mom, what's this?
It's a little bit off. Hold on.
Throw things off cliffs because it gets faster and heavier as it goes down. But go ahead, right there. Look right there. Now you plant an acorn tree there.
Cool.
Oh, there's gonna be an acorn tree there.
Nice.
Once it goes really high up, I have it.
No, hopefully that wasn't echoing, but I won't know. No echo. Okay, cool. Now, what the heck was I going to do tonight? Oh, God. Shut up. This is messed up. It says North Georgia Detention Officer. Corrections officer. Arrested on rape charges. And police say the scratch marks you see in his mugshot are from the victim fighting back. Wow. Look at the deadness in his eyes. Georgia jail guard Kirk Taylor Martin. They always get through. Usually you have to kill somebody to have all three. Usually you have to be an assassin or something to get all three names. Was convicted of rape and aggravated sodomy, receiving 5 consecutive life sentences. Wow. His viral mugshot showed deep facial scratches, which police confirmed were from the victim fiercely fighting back during an hours-long assault. And sodomy, huh? Somebody said excited to hear about his death in the near future. They didn't say whether he was a guard at a women's prison or a men's, so the sodomy thing makes me think that maybe it was a guy. I don't know. What a freak. Ah, of course. Hold on.
Places to want to have white babies. So this woman started.
Oy vey! Look at it. Tell me that's not. Of course it is. It wouldn't be anything else.
attacking me online, saying I'm a white supremacist and all these different accusations, that basically saying it's super racist that we're promoting having big white families. The hypocrisy is absolutely insane. She would not have a problem ever with any other race saying, let's have more Africans, let's have more Japanese, let's have more Asian people. She wouldn't care at all. Nobody would care. If somebody said, let's have more Jewish babies, no one would care. But
I would. I think everybody else here would too.
The minute you say white,
I think they have plenty. They are getting $2 million houses in New Jersey and New York to house their 15 children. And we're paying for all of it.
let's have more white babies, suddenly it's racist. I have never once said anything against any other race. I actually usually post underneath my post about white people having more babies, that every race is beautiful and made in the image of God. Because I'm a Christian, I believe all human beings are made in the image of God.
Well, that's your first mistake.
It just so happens that the white race has not hit replacement rates in any white country in the world since the 1970s. So this is a huge issue within my community. That's why I speak out on it. Not to say that white people are better or anything like that. It's just a fact that our birth rates are getting worse and worse in every single white country in the world. This is not an issue with most other races. This is not an issue with Africans. Actually, there was more babies born in Nigeria than all of Europe.
And now they're all over here. So, yeah, they're just going to multiply.
1 year. It is absolutely not racist
We don't have tigers out here to help keep the population down.
at all to talk about white people having more babies. Please stop the gaslighting. We don't care anymore. That word has been weaponized against white people for the last 100 years. We're over it. We don't care. Call us that. We don't care. When you realize who coined the term about 100 years ago, and this is a new modern term that's been weaponized against a certain group of people called white people,
Bronstein.
it really loses its power over you. Of course, this Jewish woman in her bio has she, her. Kind of tells you what kind of person this is. Like, is this 2016? I thought we were over the gender confusion stuff. Anyways, I guess not. And then she is a feminist.
You don't say.
It checks, right? Doesn't it? And honestly, this is the truth. If you have an issue with my videos posting about white people having more children, then that makes you the racist. If you have an issue with white people having more children, you are racist. You are the one with racist ideology. You are the one discriminating against a minority race, which white people only make up 7% of the world's population. We are the minority. If you have a problem with my videos, you might want to check that internalized racism towards white people. Have a nice day.
There we go. Does anyone notice anything? Well, she flat out told you what she was. And Eric Warsaw said, "You did nothing wrong. You got the anointment from Eric Warsaw. Rise. You've been knighted." All right, let's see. Well, I think we should have a moment of song, not so much silence, for the poor downed ship. Fly high, lesbian seagull.
And here's a song that might help you cope with some of those feelings, okay? It's called Lesbian Seagull. She flies so gracefully over rocks.
We've got a butthead doppelganger here.
Trees and sand, soaring over cliffs and gently floating down to land. She proudly lifts her voice to sound the mating call, and soon her mate responds by singing, "Caw, caw, caw." Come with me, lesbian seagull. Settle down and rest with me. Fly high, lesbian seagull.
Oh, a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. That's when you realize that he was it was a child rapist and killer. It doesn't make for a very good story anymore, does it? Yeah. Prison is a good place for criminals to start a family. That was Edward Snowden. Irvat's in the house. He's got a chicken. Lesbians. Or it's like a rooster. Lesbian seagulls. And Karen's here. Then, all right. Cool. The gang's all here. I could probably get rid of this now. And, yeah. Just don't take that. You can do what you want, but after 2.5 hours worth of data that I've presented to the world that no one really saw, except for maybe the first one, there's like a little bit over 600 views on that one, which isn't bad for a 33 subscriber channel now. Let's do a refresh on that one. Boom. This one I thought was the best one, and it's got 27. This one really hit it. You know what I think it is too? I honestly think that people think that is Jeff Cavalier, so they clicked it. Maybe that's the formula. Maybe the other one that they made for me that made me look exactly like Jeff Cavalier. Maybe I should replace this one with that, and maybe that will get more views. However way the information gets out, you know. So I talked about the honey situation.
Reporting they had just.
I talked about the honey app. I don't know if people recognize or remember what that was all about, but yeah, they still affiliate link stuff from people. They disengage your affiliation so that it doesn't properly credit you. So when you use a honey app, it's already overriding and changing the affiliate link. And sometimes they have their own accounts, and other times they just screw it up because that's what they do. They add they tag onto it so that it doesn't register to credit the person who's actually sending the referral to the whatever they have. And that's really screwing people over who now on YouTube, you can't get monetization unless you have crazy amounts of criteria. They just doubled everything. So you need something like 20 million views on your shorts. Not your underpants, but your short videos. If I had 20 million views on my shorts,
Hi, this is Bruce
it'd be
River.
a little bit weird. I got mad at this one. I didn't even watch most of it because I was irritated by the whole concept that he says criminal lawyer reacts to slur throwing mom. I don't like the way that's presented. You remember this woman? Let's see, does it actually show when I click it to the spot or what? Come on, guys. You remember the story? In Germany, I think it was. And they're throwing the book at her, basically, for her standing her ground against a predator. And I said, who cares what she said? I was basically just responding to the title. I didn't like the way it was framed. It says, do we have to be polite and sensitive to dangerous and entitled predators? They're in our world. We're not in theirs because they don't build shit. They benefit off of what we build. If we choose to be polite, that's our discretion. It's not an obligation. Remove the parasites that siphon our efforts to provide for those who contribute nothing. And then one person said, so much hate in your heart. I think I did show you this. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, if that's not a bot, that's pretty pathetic. And I said, I think you mean rational common sense and self-respect. Maybe check your hormone levels. I think this would be a good place to start, but let's check out the Instagrams a little bit more here. This guy is not good. I don't know why I clicked that in there. He takes forever to get to the point on that one too.
Saves lives. Okay, everyone wants to talk shit
Hold on.
about racism. Oh, how dare you? Like this guy.
If people you associate with say or do something racist and you don't correct them, you are guilty of racism by association. Yeah, you gotta really make sure that you micromanage people who are responding to their own, oppression, because the racist people are the ones calling you racist. Yeah, we have to tailor our behavior for the rest of the degenerate pieces of crap out there. The violent, degenerate, rapey pieces of crap who do nothing and want everything. And the moment you resist that, they scream words at you, or they have their oy vey counterparts do that for them and smear you in public and everywhere else. And if they can, they press charges, or they'll sue you on their behalf. It's pretty insane how they enforce these ridiculous things, isn't it? He said, "You're guilty by association of racism. You're secondhand smoke racist, which is just as bad, perhaps worse, since you know better. When it comes to racism, if you aren't part of the solution, you're part of the problem." That is the most ridiculous. Crazy Bob, I think you might actually be crazy, Bob.
Bob Lee, Crazy Bob, on Twitter, the CEO of Cash App. In 2020, he said, if people you associate with say or do something racist and you don't correct them, you're guilty of racism by association, which is just as bad, perhaps worse, since you know better. When it comes to racism, if you aren't part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Yeah. Well, he just got stabbed to death. Bob Lee, creator of Cash App and former CTO of Square, stabbed to death in San Francisco. And since they did not describe the race of the attacker, that means he was...
Well, he was the CTO of Square. I hate Square too. So, I mean, I know this happened a while back, but this is so far a good news story. It's got a positive, upbeat feel to it.
He was black or Mexican 100%. So, I'm not allowed on Cash App. I'm not allowed on PayPal. I'm not allowed on Venmo because of my hilarious racial jokes. Well, guess which one of us is not currently stabbed to death? It's me. I'm the one who's still alive. So this is how racism saves lives, okay? Everyone wants to talk shit about racism. Oh, how dare you? Like this guy, Bob Lee.
Oh, let's start all over again. Okay.
This is only the beginning. Watch this.
You know you're not allowed. Why ain't I? I'm just buying people's groceries. I know, man. You're not allowed in any Walmart. Well, actually, the police officer said that isn't true, though. That's not what the police have to say about it. This is Walmart. And the store manager said I could be in here. I just spoke to her. You spoke. Yeah. Do you know who I am?
I wonder how tall he is if you measure from the top of his hair.
Do you want me to leave?
No.
Oh, okay. You sure? I don't want no trouble. I don't want no problems. Thank you. Not the store manager. Well, she said she was the highest one in charge right now. And I said, "Can I buy people's groceries, bud?" And she said, "Yeah." I'm just helping people. It's hard out here. But I understand. Listen.
But it gets worse.
All right, so you guys are both going to get issued trespass warnings from Walmart, okay? You guys are no longer allowed to go to any Walmarts, any Sam's Clubs, or any Murphy gas stations for life, okay? So that is
How do you feel like a retard when you say this to somebody? It's like, for some people, that would be a death sentence. That would mean they would starve to death. That's all they ever go to.
Life ban from Walmart.
Look at how he feels his authority, doesn't he? You see that brow, how it creaks down. He's like, "You're banned for life." He liked that. He enjoyed that feeling.
What? Who's issuing that? Walmart is.
Lifetime ban for buying somebody's groceries for them, for doing charity. Now, I wonder why they never did this to Mr. Beast, because he started his career doing exactly this.
No, he started his career playing video games, but yeah, it led into that quickly. And then now he's all yoked up with the good old Rockefeller Foundation. So only good things can come from that.
But when a black man does it,
don't do the race thing, you fag. It's not because he's black.
lifetime ban.
Right, because there's so much, because the system is so racist. Are you retarded? No, it's not because of that. It's because they don't want people showing positive examples, and they probably don't want him filming it either. He's got an ulterior motive as well, because it's a public image thing that he's doing too. I mean, he does benefit from that.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I imagine that you're not really smart. Why is he defending him? Because he's black.
3 or 4 cops jump on a guy, and then they just start wailing on him. Is the guy resisting? He can't be. There's over 600 pounds on top of him. Check this out. It's just a good old-fashioned beatdown. We see the cops punching him while his head is on the concrete. Then the cop grabs him by the hair and tries to slam his head into the concrete, while the other cop is dropping knees into the man.
What the fuck, dude?
The third cop then stands up and starts kicking the man from a standing position.
Wow.
If that was you or I, we'd be charged with attempted murder. This is absolutely disgusting. I'm going to put the unblurred version of this on X. Please pop over there and watch it. 3 or 4 cops jump.
I don't think he blurred that one, did he? I saw pretty much everything there. Oh, so on Twitter, I posted a bunch of this stuff because I was a little surprised that this guy just ended up, they found him dead. Let's see if I can find the Twitter. There's a couple posts of him. What do you got going on? Ah, Ryan. Ryan Gable's a good dude. Look at the eyes. Trump's sons became partners in a Kazakh mining company. In a Khazarian what? No, Kazakh. Okay. The company received a $1.6 billion U.S. government contract shortly afterward. Gee, I wonder how that happened. But look at, I don't know why it's spinning. But whatever. Look at the eyes. Look at that. Fucking inbred fucking retards. That's how I shovel. I put a suit on first when I shovel. Ridiculous. Liberal women are getting more COVID booster shots while mocking RFK Jr. Well, good. That's one of those things where they say, the problem solves itself. Sometimes all you have to do is nothing, and the problem will solve itself. White women on the left are turning. Why is it? Are you sure it's white? Oh, this guy's black. That's why. Women on the left, because there's apparently a left, are turning COVID booster shots into a trend to support Dr. Fauci. Well, that's just plain retarded. She has good teeth, though. They're lining up for more doses, bringing their kids along. That's evil. They should be, thrown into the pit for that one. And framing it as standing with Dr. Fauci, all while mocking RFK Jr. Well, that's a pretty misguided cult member right there. Trump bought more than $100 million in bonds since January. Government filings, Trump has back out. Whatever. Where is the ones that I was looking for? Where the hell did that come from? Oh, that's Ryan. These aren't my things. Where's the ones that that's for me? Hold on. I'm in the wrong spot. Hold on. I thought it was over here. I was. There's that crazy chick. Ozempic face, maybe? I don't know. Look at that. What is that? Ah! We've seen her before, but that is just, it's a little unnatural. How far back did I put these? Oh, here they are. So, some of these are pretty interesting. And by the way, yes, your Bible was 100% rewritten a bunch of times. And he kind of proved that, even within the last 150 years. So, here, let's take a look. I thought I'd watch more than that, but...
I've compiled a collection of Bibles that spans 90 years of history. 3 contain the Apocrypha, Bush-owned Family Bible, 1812. German Bible containing the Apocrypha, 1878. The newest edition of my collection, nobody's seen this one yet, an 1884 Catholic Bible, the first one in my collection, full of newspaper clippings. This is also a reference Bible with an entire section of information not found in a normal Bible. And then my favorite is this 1895 print, another reference Bible that contains biographies of the biblical translators. These books contain a ton of truth, but it's not all the truth, so I expanded my collection. These are the books that are going in my digital library. Ancient Magic, Magnetism and Psychic Forces, L.H. Anderson, 1895. History of the Jew, Henry Mark Millman, 1866. History of Freemasonry and Concordant Order.
I can imagine what that book was talking about. I want to hear that again. I want to get the name. Maybe you can find the book somewhere. Let's see.
History of the Jew, Henry Mark Millman, 1866.
It's hard to hear what he's saying.
Freemasonry and Concordant Orders by a Board of Directors, 1891. This one's going to be interesting. Taoist Yoga, Chisu, 1980s. 17 Remarkable Vignettes in Papua New Guinea. My dad's book about his missionary work in Papua New Guinea. Heroes of European History, Louise Creighton, 1907.
That's a little weird. Papua New Guinea and his dad, really? So I wonder if he was there when Gaidashek was doing his Kuru bullshit with the slow virus nonsense while he was molesting naked African, well, whatever the hell Papua New Guineas are, black people.
Physics and Physiology of Spiritualism, William Hammond, 1871. Am I a Jew or Gentile? Thomas Davies, 1893. The History of Freemasonry, Daniel MacDonald, 1898. The Earliest Gospel, Frederick Grant, 1943. Conversations on the Bible, Enoch Pond, 1889. Magnetism and Electricity, a lab manual by W.M.S. Webb, M.N. States, 1930. 2-volume set, original teachings.
It would be nice to see what those had to say, especially when it was prior to the black curtain of death. I'm starting to be more and more convinced every day that the world already ended, and it's just we're just watching it unfold now. like the evil already won, and right around 1945-ish, give or take, it was the turning point to go back down the other way for the reset. I'm not saying that we can't alter that course. I'm just saying that's where they're taking us if we let them.
Zoroaster, Marion Crawford, 1885. Given to me by a 33-degree Freemason, this is the Holman Bible, which is translated from ancient Eastern manuscripts. A very interesting Bible and an interesting translation. Research to find out more. Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology by Russell Hope Robbins, 1959. People give me hell about this book, but it's part of history. 1967 World Almanac containing tons of economic statistics. Egyptian mythology. Original works of Flavius Josephus, William Wyston, 1872. The Outline of History, H.G. Wells, 1920. Night Scenes in the Bible, Daniel March, 1869. This is a trove of information littered with the breadcrumbs of truth. But remember that truth is like gravity. It does not care if you know what it is, it still applies. I figure if I put 2 centuries worth of print dates full of thousands of centuries worth of information online, we can finally figure it out.
Yep, I don't think you ever got to that. Is that the first one? Yep.
Several centuries of hidden and lost information. I'm going to make a digital library out of everything you see here and some not pictured as well. This is one of 3 Bibles I have. 1878 print contains pictures, illustration, and information not contained in a normal Bible. Conversations on the Bible. Enoch Pond, 1889. Do we need a Bible? What belongs to the Bible? By whom and where were the books of the Bible written? The lost books of the Bible. Christ and
It'd be really bad marketing if you're selling a Bible and the first question you ask is, do we need a Bible? And then you respond with no.
I've never heard of Abgarus. Paul and Seneca. Paul knew Seneca? Letters of Herod and Pilate. Those are the guys who crucified Jesus. The earliest gospel, 1943. Mark was the earliest book written in the New Testament. It was written about 50 years after Jesus died. Was Mark written in Aramaic? Is Mark anti-Semitic? I've never heard any of this mentioned in any church or Bible anywhere. Am I a Jew or Gentile? It's by Thomas Davies, 1893. Cosmology or Mysteries of Creation, the Hebraic account of creation, supported by the development of existing acts of God toward matter. Adam and Ha-Adam? What? Ancient Magic Magic and Magnetism and Sacred Forces by L.H. Anderson, 1895. Very obscure Masonic author. This one discusses how magnetism is everything.
I thought I was going to say a very obscure Masonic mustache.
Chapter 3, Secrets of the Egyptian Magi. Night Scenes of the Bible, with the hidden U.S. history in the cover. Daniel
That's cool.
March, 1869. Jonah's night at Nineveh. You want to know what happens after the whale spit him out? But the Bible's only part of history, so I've included a lot of other sources in the search for truth. Taoist yoga, the Chinese art of kindness, all new to me. History of Freemasonry, Daniel MacDonald, 1898. Physics and Physiology of Spiritualism, W.A. Hammond, 1871. There is an inherent tendency in the mind of man to ascribe supernatural agencies to the events of causes which are beyond his knowledge. The Outline of History by H.G. Wells, 1920.
Some of these are
Earth and
duplicates.
Space and Time, The Record of the Rocks, Life and Climate, The Age of Reptiles. There are 3 books before we even hit the Bible. Heroes of European History, Louise Creighton, 1907. Christopher Columbus, Part 3, Chapter 2. That's how much history is contained in there. America starts here. 1967 Economic Almanac. This book contains information on the USSR, which isn't even a country anymore. Then the part they told us is evil. Encyclopedia of Demonology and Witchcraft. This book chronicles the Inquisitions, the Salem witch trials, and all the people who were tortured and murdered for being witches. Dr. Michael Fels. My dad wrote this book about his missionary work in Papua New Guinea to formerly cannibalistic tribes. Read chapter 12, the story about when Joe Fels was born and my daddy delivered me. The original teachings of Zoroaster, the oldest religion known to man. Marion Crawford, 1885. I'm going to put all of these on a website that I own and control so nobody can ever change it or take away from it, and we're going to have a discussion board where people can talk about this stuff in an open forum. That way the world can finally find out the truth. I can't wait to bring these to the world because knowledge is really power.
Yeah. Somebody else thought so too.
And they're coming to get you.
I just caught the craziest thing on the homestead. That's weird. Joe! Charlie! Big ass black helicopter that just flew over the homestead. I got it on camera.
I've been here 3 weeks and this is the first helicopter that I've seen. It's really strange and it's
She brought
flying
him.
right over the homestead.
She's a succubus, I bet. She's the mole keeping tabs on Joe. I don't know. Reality. Costa Rica.
The first helicopter I've seen.
Julian, the choppers are back. How many helicopters have you seen?
Here on 3 months.
How many have you heard?
Yeah.
I started posting videos about ancient relics, lost civilizations. What happened? When we posted about the battery. So for those of you who say choppers, not circling nature jab,
Came right back.
his batteries got delivered. This is the second time this chopper has circled me. What happened when y'all left Julian's build with me the last time? A chopper legitimately just flew across the interstate, snapped a picture of you, and dipped off.
Helicopter followed the bus down the road like it was right overhead of us. It was a completely open helicopter.
3 things that whacked me in the head, and a hose just came off and soaked.
The doors were wide open. There was 2 guys in the back, 1 driving.
When was the last time you watched for that?
You go first.
I'm right in the tree line on the left side of the interstate.
The road is my home. Fuck that cop.
Crossed over the interstate to stop right above us, like they were trying to take a picture. As soon as we passed underneath him, he fucking flew off to the left side again and disappeared.
Guess what I had? Border Patrol trucks. Follow me and pass me twice. I pulled out my phone to record him. He turned off on the very next exit. You were probably thinking we're strange conspiracy theorists. We're just showing you what's happening in full unedited video. The videos are not AI produced. This is me buying a house.
I got 2 homes.
Computer don't think about Kevin Gates and real estate. I would never lie to you with no shirt, no boxers on. You can trust me. The government fucking hates you and they're coming to get you. Merry Christmas.
The government hates you, and they're coming to get you.
If we disappear, the government did it.
So Joe Phelps died recently, and the internet is convinced that something happened. I looked into it, and I found a lot that was suspicious about it that we should kind of look into. Here's a couple of things that he was working on or talking about recently. He was working on solar energy to power the home off-grid, and he was teaching people in classes how to set it up.
I do not think that humans should buy and sell electricity. I don't think it's theirs. I think it was put here on this earth by God for all of us to use, and that people have been selling it to you. I don't like that. So I will give up my time, my energy for free if I can teach you the only way that I know right now that you can just snatch it.
He was talking out a lot against surveillance cameras and what they're doing to install them.
But cutting down trees to make room for the surveillance cameras. There used to be oak trees all down Broad Street in Augusta, and now they're gone. Trees have been here since 1738 when James Oglethorpe founded this place. They just cut them all down, but the cameras, they're new.
He was also talking a lot about the water and how it's not safe and how to track the water to see the contaminants in the water and to show it's not safe to drink. The city water, that is.
Nobody else is going to tell you they're trying to kill us. Richmond County, Georgia has some of the most polluted drinking water in the United States. This website, ewg.org, lists all the contaminants detected in the water in all municipalities in America.
I hope that he took that crystal geyser water that he bought for that jug and dumped it on the ground before he used it for something else. That thing tests high for all kinds of crap. Crystal geyser is not a clean water.
The thing that has most people riled up the most is his work on these old books that he was pulling out that were showing a different version of history than what we're being offered.
Version? If it's omissions or rewrites, doesn't mean it's a different version. The version that we have would be the one that would be augmented.
But he was showing that the Bible may be, or most likely has been altered beyond recognition.
This is one of the most obscure authors in American literature, L.H. Anderson, who wrote Ancient Magic, Magnetism, and Psychic Forces in 1895, published from the Masonic Temple in Chicago. Try and Google some information on L.H. Anderson. He talks about hypnotism, mind control, and explains the earth in magnetic and electrical principles. You can't find anything on this guy, and I think I know why. So I did a little digging. Here's a hint. It has a lot to do with the Holy Land of Israel, Palestine, excluded because it was written in Greek, not Hebrew. Ecclesiasticus, written about 180 BC, excluded because
it was all written in Greek. That's where they first drafted their bullshit history.
It was not in the Jewish Bible. The book of Baruch was written by the prophet Jeremiah scribe, and it was excluded because it was not in the Jewish Bible. Because it is not in the Hebrew. I don't think anybody noticed. Maybe we notice it now, because this is a historical account of a Jewish revolt that happened about 160 BC, and they excluded it because it wasn't in the Jewish Bible. Cut off from the end of Daniel. Why? Because it was not in the Hebrew canon again.
He also worked closely with another guy called Julian Brown, who turned plastic into fuel, you're probably aware of. He was helping him set up solar for his whole setup, turning plastic into fuel. We're not being offered an official cause of death that hasn't been made public.
You want to know why? Because communication.
Yeah, you can turn plastic into kerosene. What was Stefan Verstappen in one of his survival guide books shows you how to do it. You can take basically garbage and turn it into a fuel.
Is not Wi-Fi dependent with the professional DMR walkie-talkie. If we disappear,
yeah. So that was interesting. Not interesting enough to click it twice, but whatever. This is actually pretty funny. What this guy says to this guy it's. I mean, there's a lot of truth to it. Okay, hold on. There we go.
What is it you're gonna do?
I'm about to knock you the f*** out is what I'm about to do.
Yeah, why is that? You take self-defense classes and practice in slow motion? You want me to slowly grab your wrist so you can do one of your moves?
Oh, good Lord, I feel the pain. If you have ever taken a traditional martial arts class, you understand exactly what that guy in white is feeling right now. Because no matter how good the striking and actual combative part of it was, we always had this little segment where the person's supposed to magically attack you in the way that you want them to. My Taekwondo studio, fantastic. The kicks, phenomenal. But there was always that point where we would stop for some reason and spend like 15 to 20 minutes on random wrist grab defenses. And there were just so many of them. There was the look at the book and then show them the book. There was the grab the hand, rotate over, and then chop the wrist down. There was the 4 paces back from the elbow and then pinch the soft skin because pressure point. When in reality, a good stiff punch does the job just fine. In fact, any forward strike with the free side is a good idea. First of all, no one's ever going to grab you like this unless they're trying to drag you off and you are a small child and your attacks won't do anything anyways. But if there is indeed an adult trying to accost you in that dumb of a manner, this is what you can do. Elbow with the free hand. Headbutt with the free head. Knee them in the nuts. They don't have nuts, you say? Weird, but okay. Same thing. Hell, I don't care if you put saliva on your finger and stick it in their ear. It's for their lesson. But don't just stand there having a wrist-only grappling session. It's a waste of your time and dumb.
Tell me, what is it you're gonna do?
About to knock you the
Good times. All right, that's gonna change the mood. Let's take a look at the chat real quick. Saxon Rangers in the house. I appreciate you guys showing up, and it's this late. And yeah, I fought through all that crap, so now it's all good for the next show. And hopefully the computer will be more stable. I kept on getting these snaps. So I'd be typing like a comment, or I'd be typing somewhere else, or I'd be trying to look for something in a search, because I still use that. I don't know. I didn't realize people don't use searches for things anymore, and they haven't for like a decade. What? Nobody even does that when they go to, I guess, a social media platform. They just scroll and they allow someone else to dictate what they see rather than look for stuff. Nobody looks for things. You can't even look for things legitimately on Instagram on your PC because it keeps on trying to find somebody's account instead of a video based on the topic on your keywords that you're typing. So it's I guess they anticipate nobody using it. I don't know. But anyway. Edward Snowman says, prisons... Oh, yeah, we already saw that one. And let's see. Saxon Ranger says, yeah, because intelligence and birth rates are linked. Wow, she's based, actually. Nice. She knows the nose. Irvat says, what's up, Irvat? Trying to hype your videos there, but YouTube doesn't have it. What are you talking about? Lesbian single. Shiloh Hendricks from Rochester, Minnesota. Is that where that was at? I thought they said something about German. I don't know. That light bulb head droid is the real predator. Of course. Right. Amber Snowman says, let's call them endless global waves of hostile insurgent sex communists. That way it'll work for both sexes. Instead of feminists. Nice. Squawking Yentas, said Irvat. Have Ryan Gable come back the show. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I think he said something about me going on his, and then that all things that sound like a plan and stuff like that and good. I'm like, yeah, but that sounds great. I would love to have the freedom to do that rather than scramble and running around in circles, unable to solve problems as I do every day when the bills are coming again. So it's like, oh yeah, let me take time off from not having yet solved that problem to sit down and do something that's not gonna get me any closer to that. So that's where my head's at for most of this stuff. And Edward Snowman says, what? Liberal women are bringing their collection of children of the latest fashion, such as Homo erectus cubs, tranny kids, retards, and grown-ups pretending to be children? Irva says, I'd love to read Nikola Tesla's personal notes and archives. Most of those are hidden and destroyed. For a while there, back in, I don't know, 2015, 14, on up, I was collecting everything I could find. Most of them were Amazon electronic books I put in my library, and I had a couple audio books too that I was listening to when I was making hot sauce. And the accounts always seemed a little nondescript, but there were some really interesting things about that guy. Like certain people, he would stand on this plate and he had cork bottom shoes, but he could, the way he was able to, I don't know, how would you say? It's not really conduct. It was more like he had a symbiotic relationship with electricity to where it would have fried somebody else, but it didn't him. It was really interesting, like reading these or listening and also reading stories about him. Tesla was an interesting character, very, very, very interesting, and we'll probably never know the depths. Saxon Ranger said this dude was dripping with vril. R.I.P. Joe. Yep. It sucks too. I just started catching his videos in I think Instagram or something like that. So when they said he was dead, I'm like, I know that guy. That sucks. Inward Snowman says thermal depolymerization. Is that what that is when you make the plastic into like a fuel, like a kerosene or something? Irva says plastic is primarily a petroleum. Yeah, that and that's what makes sense about it, right? So I use it for that. Good old Standard Oil. Most of your pharmaceuticals were petroleum based too. And they probably still are. That and venom, because serpent cult and all. And people are like, oh, Excludius. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was a great guy too. Irva says plastic is primarily oh, you said that. Wrist boxing. Irva said that was Edward Snowman. Then Irva says I use the search bar. Yeah, I guess our generation does. Irva says you can hype videos on YouTube, but doesn't have it on yours. Oh, those things. I get what you mean now. Yeah, I think it matters about like yours. It's catch-22, right? It's like the SAG card. You can't work on a SAG film until you have a SAG card. You can't get a SAG card until you work on a SAG film. Screen Actors Guild. It's kind of like that. So you have to have a big following before that applies. And I think you also might have to have your monetization already. You have to be part of their program before that even makes a difference. Everything's a carrot, right? Some people get it so easy. You're like, I can do that. So yeah, but you don't get it. They're not letting anybody see your stuff on purpose. Everybody, no one else, the people that you see flying through the, racing to the top as far as subscriber count and all that, they have their videos seen. There's a kind of a wall there that you are stuck behind. I am stuck behind. And I'm assuming, number one, I'm not anything special, but also, I did speak out an awful lot about the medical crap, and they called that misinformation. I was like, that's funny, because if people listened to what I said, they would not have been murdered. So, which one was the misinformation part? I guess that lady who just got her booster would argue that they were correct. Herbot says Tesla must be made of copper because he was a conductor. Yes. He was friends with Mark Twain. Let's see. Saxon Ranger says there's a channel called Styro Pyro. He does crazy, dangerous experiments. He's weird as fuck, but is some autistic electrical engineer or something. Pretty interesting. Yeah, if you ever come across something called the Bud Flood University, that guy's a little weird too. Everything is a giant. Everything is like, oh, look from this arrow thing. That's a dragon that turned into mineral. He was mineralized. That's not a mountain. That's a dragon. Things look like something, so therefore it is. I mean, it's like it makes you wonder if people are deliberately trying to discredit certain ideas because there is some truth to them by saying something that's way off on the far end. It's like even if anything that wild is somewhat accurate, you start with the small things if you want people to warm up to the idea, right? You don't start with the craziest stuff and throw that in their face and then get all animated about it like Alex Jones. Don't Alex Jones the truth. If you Alex Jones the truth, no one wants to hear it. Yes, I use it as a verb. Alex Jonesing the truth. I would eat my neighbors. And Irva says, I did not know, but that is awesome with Tesla and Mark Twain. Yes, yes. Mark Twain died before him, I think. Pretty sure. Tesla was brilliant, but he was also trusting of the wrong people, you know? He was, and this is what's so sad. Because when they fund you, they control you, right? So there was J.P. Morgan was giving funds and supporting Tesla's work, but only so long as to control it. Because when Tesla innovated and said, "We don't even need to do this, we don't even need to do that," it was like these are all the industries that he was making money off of. So then J.P. Morgan kind of faded off in the distance like that, like kind of slowly backed out. He zoomed out, and this is keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that because I have a funny feeling. Is Karen still here? You guys have shields. Keep an eye on that. I see something cooking over here. What do you call it? So yeah, and then JP Morgan's son, and he's always constantly asking the same people for, if you just give me this, I can solve this problem. They didn't disbelieve him. They just knew that if they didn't fund him, then it never would come off the ground, and that's how they controlled him. Basically, they knew he was able to innovate and make people independent of centralized everything, and that was the whole point of not funding his projects. So you keep going to the same place, keep hitting your head against the same wall. Brilliant guy, but that level of common sense, like the savant part, wasn't working for him. Irva said, also that lady is on her 33rd COVID booster. All right, I'm just going to do it myself. There we go. All right. And now we're going to go into, wait, what else do we have over here? That guy's dead. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Doop.
A new viral video trend.
It appears to have slipped Mr. Roosevelt's mind that Palestine is not being occupied by German troops, but by English ones. By brute force, England is curtailing Palestinian freedom and is robbing the Palestinians of their independence to the advantage of Jewish intruders for whose cause the Palestinians suffer the most cruel of abuses. The Arabs living in this territory assuredly have not complained to Roosevelt of German aggressions. Rather, in persistent appeals to international public opinion, the Arabs lament the barbaric methods by means of which England seeks to overpower a people who loves its freedom and fights only to defend it. And this may well be one of the problems Mr. Roosevelt would like to see solved at the council table. It ought to be decided by an impartial judge and not by brute force, military means, mass executions, the torching of villages, the dynamiting of houses, and so on.
You mean like what they're doing right now? Oh, yeah.
Thing is certain. In this case, England cannot claim to be repulsing the threat of an Arab attack on England. Instead, England is the invader, whom no one bade come, and who seeks to establish his reign by force in a country not belonging to him.
The Great Awakening continues, and they cannot stop what is coming.
What is coming? A bunch of people saying, I know what you're up to. As a block camera assess wherever you are at every moment of the day. And through your Wi-Fi can pinpoint where you are in your home. Like, what are you gonna do? You get the drop on them? Do you have all that technological shit pointed at them? I don't think you do. So it's those type of hollow statements that bother me, because then people like relax and think, yeah, we got this. What do you got? Because they've got all the weapons and the might and the authority and the retards in the society that will support them simply because they are the authority and they want to suck up to the power. They're still calling you racists. You know what I mean?
That kid's ass to the white folks. I'm gonna kill them for real.
He's got
I'm
two
gonna kill
axes.
your bitch ass for real.
Oh,
right?
hammers.
A 49-year-old woman was on the platform when someone pushed her onto the tracks.
A fight that ended with a stabbing on a CTA train.
There was another stabbing on the Red Line.
The CTA, which encompasses
The music's a little weird for what they're talking about.
trains and buses of Chicago, is not exactly a place you'd feel safe at.
I am getting a little nervous taking the CTA. I feel like your head has to be on a swivel.
We shouldn't be frightened to sit on the train.
But fear not, residents of Chicago, the CTA's official Instagram revealed their revolutionary new tool to combat crime.
We need to have a safe public transportation system. So today we are launching
Well,
our
we brought the women in, so I'm sure what they do is going to be effective.
initiative that we, as the state's attorney's office and the CTA, are taking crime on the CTA.
That's an awfully clean spot there. Is that a brand new cart?
seriously. Everyone deserves a safe and enjoyable ride, and we're working.
There's
together
nothing
to make
going
sure
on.
that happens.
There was nothing going on behind that face. Neither one of these people. Oh, look, here's the solution right in their hands. Violence on the CTA will not be tolerated. The Cook County State's Attorney Office will prosecute and seek pre-trial detention for all violent offenses on public transit. Wow, a sign is almost as good as a firearm, isn't it? To defend yourself or to set things right. Signs are cheaper too.
We are putting out these
Oh,
signs
boy.
as an indication of what the consequences will be to any criminal actions on the CTA.
That's right. Signs that say violence on the CTA will not be tolerated is their new way of stopping crime. Why didn't anyone think of this before?
We are hoping to deter crime and to encourage people to come forward if they are witnesses of crime.
These signs are a message to all of our riders and employees that we are working together with the County State's Attorney's Office
nothing
to take
going on.
action and ensure and promote a safe ride on the CTA.
Well, that's definitely worth $200,000 a year. Isn't that what they get paid?
Just
Right around?
imagine when Bethany McGee was on the train minding her own business and was set on fire by a career criminal if he had seen that sign. He definitely would have stepped back and said, you know what? I'm not going to start this girl on fire. If only Demetrius here would have seen that sign, he may not have stabbed a sleeping passenger to death on the train. Better late than never, though. These signs are here to tell criminals who've been let off by liberal judges that if they do something bad on the train, they're really going to be in trouble this time, and we mean it. Chicago is looking up.
That's
That kid's
awful.
ass to the white folks. I'm gonna kill.
That was awful. A lot of blubber there. Did you see that? That brown blubber whales. There was a congregation of angry brown blubber whales.
So this is halfway into the brawl.
Hey, look, more brown blubber whales. Wait till you see what this. Pay attention to the purple head here. You know, they don't. I don't think they have going out clothes because they're always wearing pajamas. Why? Because they don't have to work. Why? Because you work. And there's parasites funneling your money over to them so that they don't have to work. So they can do shit like this instead. Eat all the wrong food, be disgusting inside and out, and have absolutely no social skills or morality or self-respect or dignity. And it looks like she almost has a little bit of pooey pants there. It's a little dark over there, isn't it? Pay attention to the girl in the green with the purple on the top. You know, amazing, amazing attire.
Watch Purple Bonnet. Watch Purple Bonnet.
There's a little kid right there. A little kid right there that's traumatized. And look, she kicks the girl. I think that's a little girl.
She's stopping the kid.
What
The kid is like clinging to the pole crying because adults are fighting around her. And Purple Bonnet, pajama wearing bitch stomps out the baby.
It's a coming of age story.
And
for
what is that?
girl.
It's like you're basically wearing underwear on the outside. The chick whose butt bounced up against the little girl. How disgusting! How disgusting of a creature are you? And that woman decided that it was the little girl that needed to get kicked in the head. Wow, they're doing it to their own people, right? But don't you ever say a word that they don't like. There's no logic, and they're just wicked, evil, disgusting.
Bro, she's got to be a man.
That's when I knew that white people were my biggest obstacle.
Yeah.
When a black bonnet wearing pajama bitch was stomping me. So this is halfway into the brawl.
Yeah, and it says, this guy says, oh, I had to check that. It looks like it was Tristan freaking Tate for a second. I'm like, I don't know. It says, it's so tragic to watch white supremacy force that woman to kick that toddler. Right, all right. This person says, clearly this was during the lunch period at NASA. And remember, guys, these people built America. Just spitballing here, but maybe if we cut all welfare and SNAP benefits to able-bodied people, they'd be forced to go to work during the day instead of kicking children? No, they would just shoot you. Or they would get shot. I mean, eventually the problem would solve itself too, yeah. Cut her some slack. This was clearly systemic racism making her do that. That's coming from a black person, so it's hard to tell if that's a joke or not. I mean, he does do laughy face. Oh, he has to tell, I've never started a sentence either thinking about it or saying it aloud where I said, as a white man, I've never done that. Me doing my best to just make ends meet and living paycheck to paycheck is what caused this. Right, well, you're not giving enough to them, you see. And they're angry, and they're going to take their anger out on everyone. What's that supposed to do? Are you actually doing work with that, or are you afraid of COVID with that stupid mask? The fact that nobody stomped her for that is crazy. Right, nobody cares. They don't have morality. Nobody even thought, hey, maybe this is a bad example and a traumatic experience for this child. Maybe we should all cool it and be adults. No, they didn't do that. They're self-centered, self-serving all of the time. You saw the chicken one the other day with the gun, right? Did we do that one?
She posted this as a W.
Did I join?
Look at the bitch face on her. I thought that was Nina Hartley at first. And if you don't know who Nina Hartley is, you probably haven't ever masturbated. I'm just kidding. She was in that Boogie Nights movie, but she was a porn star.
What's your name?
Look at snug little cunt, man. Everything about her. And listen to what she says. She's a stripper that's been divorced twice, that has no certificate to be a coach. I've debated her before, and she's extremely pretentious. She blocked me. You didn't have to say any of that. We can just see this here, you know? What is... This guy's whacked out of his mind, too.
My name's Tony. This is the first live I've ever joined. There's no judgment here, but I've read some research that women with more partners...
No, listen.
What's the title of the study? Do you need to know what a bunch of retards in, a lab who had nothing else to do and got paid money by a bunch of ghouls and demons to come up with some bullshit, what they said about anything? Or can you just use your own life experience? But this bitch, listen to what she does. Look at what she does.
Listen, I read yap doesn't work here.
And the bullshit has begun. Strap in.
I'm going to start you in on the spiel just so you understand how things work here, okay?
Watcher lay out rules for respect, but not exhibit any respect towards him.
Okay.
So apparently you're here to talk about the body count topic. That's my debate topic. It's a fact.
Absolutely.
Don't talk when I'm talking. It interferes.
He's just responding. This bitch has not been see, then they say not to hit them, but would they keep talking like that if they do? I'm just kidding.
With the sound quality.
You just walk away. And then they won't know how to provide for themselves.
Okay.
My fault.
Body count doesn't matter is her statement. So anything that's to the contrary. Like if it matters to you, then it matters, right? So where's the debate here? Body count doesn't matter. Well, if you're sleeping with everybody, yeah, it matters because it means that you're not choosy and that you're a floozy. Huh.
Okay. Pretend you're in a classroom.
Oh, goody, she's now a teacher and he has to pretend that he's in a classroom being lectured to.
So this is my debate topic. It's a facts over feelings debate, not an individualized debate. I don't debate you on you because you're not the subject. This is the subject all by itself in a factual or scientific way only.
Yada, yada, yada. This is the first time you're doing TikTok live? Holy fuck, just get to the point.
That means you don't start a sentence with, I think, I feel, my opinion, my experience.
Void behavior.
My experience? Why wouldn't that weigh in? And if it's an opinion as to whether or not a body count matters, you can't just say no. What you feel about that is invalid. It's not invalid if you're the one making the decision as to who you're going to date and who you're just going to, use them for what they seem to like to do the most, which is have sex randomly.
And I'd be a good boy.
Tony, are you here for a facts over feelings debate? Yep.
What a fucking bitch.
Yes or no?
What the actual fuck was that tone? Don't you just hate it when these foids use that tone?
What is a foid? I could probably look it up, but...
Isn't that the most condescending bullshit tone you've ever heard?
Absolutely.
A little bit of ground rules before we start. A fact would be like this. Would you agree this is a key?
Yes,
oh my god. Might as well. Do they cling together like is he a toddler? Oh, look at the key. Is he supposed to coo? Oh no, that would be interrupting her.
It actually got this bad. She's dangling keys as if you're an infant, which is usually what women do in government anyway.
Yes or no?
That is a key.
Yes, a fact is something outside of you and me, agreed upon on site because it is so obvious.
Infantile.
If you want to bring a science, you have to bring 4 pieces of information to prove what you're saying is not a lie. Title of the peer-reviewed study you read, website the study's on, page number, paragraph number.
Holy fucking foid yap.
Where that study said safe consensual sex has a negative result. You bring us the study first, you tell us where to find...
Yeah, safe consensual sex has a negative result when you've done it hundreds upon hundreds of times and have absolutely no self-respect, and you expect other people to treat your used vehicle like it's a brand new one.
In that sentence, we'll go find what you found, and then you can make your claim out loud, and this is how we make sure there's no amplification of lies, fear-mongering, or disinformation. Is that fair?
Yeah. At this point, you just want to punch the screen because he can't punch her, and he's still enthusiastically engaging in good faith. Now watch this.
I work in science.
I work in science, yes. I went to science today. Put an 8-hour day into science. Boy, that was a rough day, that science. I was sciencing from 9 to 5 today, man. I even stayed a little bit after.
Let's do it.
Awesome. What's the title of the study?
Let me find it. Can you give me like maybe 15 seconds?
Not at all.
And just like that, she kicked him off. Here's her reasoning.
I had more than 15 seconds after I told you I needed a title, and then I told you I'm going to do a spiel, and then I asked you for the title. You had all that time to go do a little homework.
Bitch, he was listening to you yap because he didn't want to miss out on your very important condescending fucking tone of how you explain all your dumb retarded rules. And you couldn't give him 15 seconds to engage in good faith? Just admit that you ran through. She posted this as a double...
Jeez. People live in very, very self-deluded states of existence. I think we've gone through most of this. Oh, there's that thing, though.
Y'all remember the lesbian captain that took control of a military ship and on her first voyage sunk the damn thing that cost $100 million?
So I also saw 61 million, so it's not very consistent unless they're... was it New Zealand? Is that the equivalent? Like, what are we talking about? Because I've seen 61 million and I've seen 100 million. That was a pretty big ship. It's very oddly shaped. I think we're good with this one. We can get into the videos now. Oh, there's the skunks we saw yesterday. I think there was something up here that there's a couple of these I skipped over because they were pretty awful. Oh yeah, is this the one? Is this the slow meow? Yeah. I should keep that video. Let's play it every so often. All right, what do we got? So 11 signs you have traumatic intelligence, a rarest form of smart. I'm sure that's going to be weird. But,
They smile
because I mean it's a good. It sounds like a good topic that if an idiot wasn't presenting it, it might actually be good. 5 phrases people use when they secretly hate you. We'll do a vote here.
Uber who self.
Oh yeah, King Azure. Everything's about him being Jewish now, by the way, because he's trying to tap in. So he's I want to fight the Nazi. He's literally a clown. He's literally a clown. They call me the Jew from the mountain. Like nobody even talks to you, bro. Nobody calls you anything because they don't talk to you.
You ever get frustrated when?
And it says these are signs that you are a sociopath. Yes, put it on me, I guess. Jesus. These all had to I have to fix these because they all restarted because I had to restart the computer.
You think you can spot a psychopath?
Yeah, pretty sure. I gotta do is look in the mirror.
Last time.
There's the old puzzle there, and
Still
then
to this day.
the honey situation, which is 28 minutes long, dude. All right, we've got these are signs you are a sociopath. We have 5 phrases people use when they secretly hate you. 11 signs you have a traumatic intelligence. That one's the most intriguing to me, I think. And 5 hidden signs of a psychopath you must spot fast. Let's see what the chat says here. Always be the master key. Yeah, from the other day. That was cool, huh? More cats. Yeah, I know. Cats are awesome. Let's see. Like a lock that works with 30 keys versus a key that works on 30 locks, which is a master key. Yeah, we saw that one the other day. What is going on? There's an awful lot of here. Let's see. Hello from Japan. Yeah. Hey. Let's see. I love the stock market. Okay. What happens when they can't read, right? The sign. Somebody said omelets earlier. In Japan, we don't put anything in an omelet, so it's an egg. Got it. Flat egg. Purple shower cap, Shiboon, the usual suspect. Grape ape. This is NASA. Dirk Diggler. Hello, fellow grapers. Jesus Christ. Here we go. Where does all this shit? I don't even see it. How can I be such jaked? What does that mean? And then you are so. What is this? What is this? That's an interesting name you have there. Let's see. Good to know. You know, if you're calling yourself a Nazi, you're actually calling yourself an idiot. Did you know that? A National Socialist and a Nazi are not the same thing. One is noble, and one is a fucking. It's a contrivance between federal agents and the ADL to create a stereotype that would negate the true substance of what National Socialism meant. Socialism meant, and it was a derogatory term then. So why would you adopt that one? Doesn't make any sense unless you want to call yourself a derogatory term. It's like, hey, I'm an asshole. You know, it's like most people don't do that. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Isn't Azuli fighting Gypsy? Yeah. in the rig duel, I don't even think he's going to show. Because if he shows and he's anything but Jean-Claude Van Damme, then he's going to, all that shit he talked is going to be exposed, in addition to the fact that he's also a rapist. How do you spot a psychopath? Doesn't their name end in Berg, Steen, or Witz? Yes. Yes, they do. Okay. What is this a picture of? Rainbird sprinkler. Let me guess. You just, yeah, you just joined. You know what that means? It means you're a fucking fraud account. That's what it means. Boop. Anyway. I think we're good now. Let's go into it. I think we have one more jack fuck out in here, but that's all right. Who's the one that said something about fellow NNR? That person needs to be fucked up too. Get rid of that piece of shit. Not because Nick's a bad guy, but because they're starting with that. You already know they're full of shit. My son is black, and the Nazis. They're Nazis. It's funny that people continue to say that about themselves, though, right? Like, that they're basically telling the world that they have absolutely no concept of the history that they're trying to impart upon other people. There's half the time they're saying, you know, that Hitler gassed the Jews, and then they'll play something like, what do you call it? Europa: The Last Battle, where there's plenty of evidence there to show that that's not the case at all. So it's like, which one are you? What I would say is they're a little bit fetty. You know, they're a honey trap or honey pot, because it's not about them and what they say. It's about what they get you to say, because someone else is monitoring that. Yep. I didn't even do that one. That's awesome. Yeah, you know what's happening here. Let's see. We probably have a shit ton of fuckers in here, right? They don't have lives or jobs, I guess. All right, let's go to this one. I'm curious. We don't have to watch the whole thing, though. It's kind of long.
You know what's interesting about people who have been through things most people can't
I have seen some shit.
They don't always come out broken. Sometimes they come out sharper. Not sharper.
Right, and that's why I always thought it was a choice, because everybody goes through things. It's the people that want you to suffer for their suffering that are the assholes, right? Like they decided to have arrested development over their problems, and people who it's an insult to people who have gone through more shit than they have, or that they've gone through. It's like it's discrediting the people who did go through stuff, because they're not making it their identity. So when you do that, it's really it's insulting to people who, because you just automatically assume that all your problems are worst, and that everybody else is, they should feel sorry for you, and you should be the victim in the room. That's awfully oy vey of you, huh? People who do that, I mean. Disassociation and suppression. Okay.
In the way that wins arguments, sharper in the way that sees things. The person who knows what someone is feeling before that person has sorted it out themselves.
Yeah, and then they'll deny it because you see it coming and you know what their intent is, especially when they're trying to, say something snidely, or they're doing an offhand insult when they think that they're so clever that you don't pick up on it. Yeah. Or when they constantly are saying certain things and you understand what it all means when you put it all together, and they don't, or they pretend like they don't, because when you address it direct, it's like they get very hostile, and they'll deny it and deny it and deny it. So funny.
The person who scans a room and registers every micro-tension, every half-hidden sadness, every unspoken hierarchy,
every doppelganger,
all within the first 5 seconds of walking in.
Those two are looking, they missed. The two guys were looking at each other awful weird.
The person who stays calm while the world around them unravels. Not because they don't care, but because chaos is
I don't know if that's part of it.
Familiar. It has a shape they recognize.
Some people get worried about non-problems, but that doesn't mean that. I mean, there could be a bigger problem that they're not even seeing that's gonna plague you. Like, I don't know, people bitching and moaning about the shit that they bitch and moan about now, and it's like, yeah, but you understand, like, the Bolshevik 2.0 is forming here in America, and we're all gonna be hunted to our deaths. Isn't that something to be concerned about? Oh yeah, by the way, they continue to poison the last remaining drinkable water, and lots of other things are happening to you. Not to mention the surveillance. Why are we allowing cars to snitch on you for doing nothing wrong? And why do authorities have the authority to contact you and tell you, keep your eyes on the road? Like, what? When did we start allowing that to happen? I know there is no constitution, there is no Bill of Rights, because that was all done away with the corporatocracy, with the incorporation. But up until this point, they at least wanted us to think that it was still there, keep us in line, make us feel like we had something, that we weren't prisoners. But that Fourth Amendment is gone, gone, gone.
But here's what most
The
people
second one is going to be gone soon.
Wrong. They call this intuition. They call it being observant. They call it having good instincts. And they never ask the question that actually matters. Where did you learn to see this clearly? Psychology has started giving this a name. They call it traumatic intelligence. And if you've never heard that term
Well,
before,
if psychologists called it something, it's probably a good safe bet that it's a very shallow and superficial understanding of something, and they're going to try to cram everything and everybody into that. Like ODD, oppositional defiance disorder. That's when you don't buy their bullshit and you push back on it. They call that a form of autism. So that way you can have the problem, and you're discredited for feeling that way. That's what psychology is there as a safety net for them when they're doing things that any rational people would see as completely insane and biased and malicious and weaponized against you.
that's exactly why this matters. Here's the psychological premise. When a child grows up in an environment that is unpredictable, emotionally volatile, physically unsafe, or simply inconsistent in ways that can't be rationalized, their brain doesn't just cope, it adapts. The amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, becomes more sensitive.
And that, if you believe that that's true, I think they make up shit about what does what in the brain too. I don't think they know shit except for the ones that secrete hormones or send signals for that. I don't think they know what anything else that happens in there. They call 98% of DNA junk DNA simply because they have no clue what the hell it's for. And these are the scientists, right? Woo! I'm going to just listen to everything else they say then.
The prefrontal cortex, responsible for scanning social environments and predicting outcomes, develops faster and in different ways than it does in children raised in stable environments. The result is not damage. At least, not only damage. The result is a nervous system that was trained, without anyone's permission, to read rooms, predict moods, detect...
Like the people who say, I'm gonna be who I was supposed to be, and who I want to be, in spite of my guardians, in spite of the people who typically mold you, like your mom or your dad or whatever. And I'm gonna be who I am in spite of that, not because of that, right? They're not gonna let the world change them, I guess.
Micro expressions and think several steps ahead. Not as a skill, as a survival mechanism. This is not the intelligence that shows up on IQ tests. It doesn't help you solve math equations faster or memorize facts, but it does something far more complex. It teaches you to understand people at a level most people never access. And it does this so early, so deeply.
Yeah, you have to have examples. You have to be able to have experience in that before you could see the deeper. Because, again, survival mechanism, especially if it's an unpredictable environment that you're growing up in, where you have to kind of study the behaviors and see what leads up to somebody losing their shit. So you kind of you pick up on things in a different way and maybe more acutely, more higher level of comprehension of what this could mean. And if it keeps going that direction, what it does mean.
Don't even realize you have it. You just assume everyone sees what you see. They don't. Here are 11 signs that the intelligence you carry, the one you may not even recognize in yourself.
Are these things put out there to make you feel like the weirdo when you're around a bunch of Hylics that are just superficial thinking? Because they don't have the substance of the soul. They're pretty much sim characters.
It's forged in exactly this way. Sign 1. Your nervous system never fully powers down. The first sign is the most physical one, and it's the one almost no one connects to intelligence. You have probably never experienced what other people describe as truly relaxing. Not completely, not all the way. There is a baseline hum that never quite leaves you. A quiet alertness, a scanning. Even when you're alone. Even when
you understand the nature of the world you live in, I think that's just called being wise. Especially when everything else is looking at you.
Everything is objectively fine. Psychologists call this hypervigilance. And it develops when the brain learns early that safety is not a guarantee. That the environment can shift without warning. That you need to be ready. But here's what the research reveals. That same hypervigilance, when it's not overwhelming you, is also what allows you to notice things. The half-second hesitation before someone says they're happy for you. The tension in a room that hasn't been named yet. The shift in someone's energy before they've processed it themselves.
And understanding that everybody's full of shit and LARPs because they know what people expect to hear, and they want people to think that they're good people rather than just being good people. They want to give off the impression that they're good people for the optics, and they want to continue to provide more actions and details and expressions that would make you believe that they are. Rather than actually be that thing, they could relax on themselves a little bit if they just were that thing rather than just trying to portray it as a persona.
The system was trained to scan for threat, but what it actually became is a highly sensitive detection instrument. You pick up data other people filter out. Not because you're more perceptive by nature, because your brain never had the luxury of filtering it out in the first place. The cost? You're tired in a way that isn't physical. The gift? You see what others walk right past. Sign 2. You notice what someone is hiding before they know they're hiding it. The second sign builds directly from the first, and it's the one that makes people deeply uncomfortable, including you. You don't just notice surface emotions. You notice the contradiction between what someone is saying and what their body is broadcasting. You hear the false note in a compliment. You see the anger beneath a smile, the grief beneath a laugh, the insecurity dressed up as confidence. And here's what's strange. You don't try to do this. You don't sit there deliberately analyzing.
Here's what's strange. That sounded like an AI lead-in. These people. How about you just write your own stuff, man?
Happens automatically beneath conscious awareness, like your brain runs a background process that delivers conclusions to you already formed. Developmental psychologists have studied this extensively. They found that children who grew up needing to track caregiver moods, children who learned that a parent's emotional state could shift the entire atmosphere of a home without warning, develop what researchers call enhanced threat cue detection. But in adulthood, that same ability looks like something else entirely. It looks like wisdom. It looks like emotional intelligence. It looks like you can see through people. And the truth is, you can. The weight you carry isn't that you're wrong about what you see. It's that you're almost never wrong.
And no one sees it, and because they can't get that deep and they can't make those connections. So you're the one that's always you're so negative. It's like, no, I just picked out that this person's full of shit and I don't trust them, or whatever the case may be. Or they're not being honest. I don't have respect for that. I have no reason to be spending any time around those people, right? It could go the opposite way too. Like somebody that nobody else gets along with, you could get along with amazingly. Maybe because they're predictable, maybe because you know what they are, and they don't hide that, even if it's not the most desirable traits. At least they're not hiding them behind something. So you respect that about them. It doesn't matter what the reasoning is, but a lot of times when nobody else can get along with somebody, I can get along with them just fine. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Freeing the truth about people who haven't asked you to see it, that's a specific kind of loneliness. Sign 3, chaos doesn't rattle you. Calm does. This third sign is the one that surprises people the most when they encounter it in the research, and it's deeply counterintuitive.
What's with us oive shit?
When everything falls apart, a crisis,
or was that? No, that was oive.
Emergency, a moment where other people freeze or panic, something in you goes quiet and strategic. You're thinking sharp.
That's not even English. Something goes quiet and strategic. What does that mean? Something goes strategic. This is why you can't just fucking repeat what retard fucking AI slop tells you to read.
You move through the chaos with a clarity that surprises everyone around you, sometimes including yourself. But when things are calm, when life is stable and predictable and nothing is wrong, that's when the restlessness starts.
That's not true. Well, I mean, maybe that's true for this imaginary fucking example that they're cooking up with AI bullshit that's never lived a day in their life and never had a human relationship. So I don't know how they're the authority on things. They're just pulling a bunch of other retards' information together and their Reddit posts and presenting it to you as a fact and making a YouTube video out of it. You can be thinking, so everybody does that, right? They decompress sometimes, they think about stuff, I would hope. Otherwise, they're kind of two-dimensional people. There's not a lot of depth to that. But if you are in a relaxed situation, and let's say you have a child, like if you're on vacation, you're at a hotel, you're at a resort, you're still going to be dad or mom if you're a decent human being. You're still not going to let your guard down. You're not going to be like, yeah, you can go to the pool over there, young child, toddler. I'll be over here playing golf or sleeping in the sun. No, that's not a time that you let your guard down just because you're on this is my vacation, so therefore I stop being an adult. No, it's not like that. That's stupidity. Some people do that, though. And it's kind of ridiculous. But there's always going to be some other thing. Like if your brain is active, you're always going to be thinking about something. And if you're a problem solver, or if you're intrigued by things that you're trying to learn more about or figure out, you know, you're gonna gravitate to it, like reading something when you're, let's say, on the elliptical at a resort, which is where I started reading on exercise machines. Was when I was over at the it's like 2018. Yeah, was it then? Yeah, 2018. We went to the Contact in the Desert nonsense.
That's when
I was reading one about autism and transhumanism. Well, that was an interesting one. It wasn't that great, the book.
Anxiety that has no obvious source begins to surface. Neuroscientists have a name for this pattern. They call it stress inoculation. When a developing brain is exposed to manageable levels of stress, not trauma that overwhelms, but stress that can be navigated, it builds a kind of psychological immune response. The brain learns that difficult situations
the brain. Like everything is material. That's why I also don't like these topics. Because it's very bag of chemicals bullshit, right? It's all the material. It's not like a mind or a spirit or a vital force or something that has intuitive intuition, but the spontaneous thought generation that can only be described or explained as maybe an inspiration from somewhere else. Something is in the radio waves, quote unquote, of the ether, and you're picking up on it because you're tuned into it. Let's say we can call that like a tether to a benevolent creator or a guiding force. That if you listen to it when it's trying to communicate with you, usually it's for the positive. It's for the listening to it isn't just taking action on those thoughts is where, if you apply it, a lot of times good things happen, right? If you don't ignore it, you don't try to like tell yourself that you're just daydreaming or whatever.
Survivable. and it develops efficient pathways for responding to them. The paradox is this. You function beautifully in conditions that break other people, but peace, real, sustained peace, feels foreign.
What is he sitting on? There's nothing there. He's sitting on his own shadow?
It feels like waiting. Your nervous system doesn't trust it because historically, calm was just the space between storms.
Well, then wouldn't you be smiling at the storm and not at the trees? What the fuck is with this shit?
You're not broken for struggling to relax.
What is that? Just any. We gotta stop this. This is just getting ridiculous now. What the fuck are we looking at? No, it's trash. What I got? Anything good? Okay.
Think again. They're not the serial killers from movies. They're the charming coworker, the attentive new friend, or even the perfect partner.
This sounds like it's in the same vein as the other bullshit.
Most people miss these 5 critical signs until it's too late, and by then they've already caused devastating damage to your life, reputation, and mental health.
Oh, he's talking about relationships.
Today I'm going to show you what psychologists and criminal profilers look for. The subtle but unmistakable signs that separate true psychopaths from merely difficult people. Let's start with the most dangerous sign, something that feels incredibly positive until you understand its true purpose. Sign 1. Predatory charm. The first psychopathic indicator is weaponized charm, a calculated, almost perfect charisma that's deployed strategically rather than expressed naturally. Unlike normal friendliness, psychopathic charm feels too perfect, too tailored to your specific preferences, and can switch on or off instantly depending on who's watching and what they want. Dr. Robert Hare, creator of the
What they're trying to manipulate.
DLR
That sounds like a female.
The assessment used by the FBI identifies this superficial charm as one of the most reliable early warning signs. It's not a personality trait, but a predatory tool. I observed a colleague who mirrored each person's interests, speech patterns, and values with chameleon-like precision. Yet when
And cops do that with flock cameras. They learn your interests, and then they show up, and they have the perfect pitch. Because they've been watching you and observing you without your knowledge for months. And they know when it's right when you've gotten out of the gym and you've just broken up with your boyfriend. This is shit that's happened. It's like, my favorite color is blue and I love little dogs. I'm like, I love little dogs. Oh yeah? How about that?
valuable was watching, the charm vanished completely, revealing a cold, calculating demeanor. Watch for charm that disappears in private or when they don't need something from you. This isn't just charisma, it's a hunting technique.
Rebecca.
The second sign reveals itself in their emotional responses, or more accurately, their disturbing lack thereof. Sign 2, emotional emptiness. The second psychopathic indicator is affective deficit, a profound inability to experience normal human emotions, particularly fear, empathy, and remorse. Neuroscience research from the University of Wisconsin shows that psychopaths' brains process emotional stimuli fundamentally differently, with reduced activity in regions responsible for emotional processing. This manifests as inappropriate emotional responses, smiling slightly during tragic news, displaying rage over minor inconveniences, or describing traumatic events with complete detachment. Most revealing is what clinicians call the...
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Isn't it better to express the majority of your frustration on something that's small? Because don't you need to have your head on straight for the sake of others when there is something worse happening? So you reroute that energy and become the stable person in the situation so that you can be beneficial to others who are having to go through the same thing that you are. Isn't that a better thing? Like the stupid shit that, builds up and puts you past your threshold, like the shit, technological shit that I was going through, like me going, what the fuck to that is a lot better than me in a situation where I'm counted on to fix and rectify something and it involves other people. That's not the time that you lose your shit, right? That's the time that you turn that energy into productivity and trying to solve something, and also being the stable leader, or at least the stable person, somebody that people can be calmed by, because it's not just your experience, it's their experience too, because they're involved in it. So if you lose your mind, then that's going to make everybody else panic, because they're looking to somebody, and you step up to be that rock, right? So doesn't that make sense? I don't know if that's really a good indication that that person's a psychopath, just because when things are really bad, they know that you can't lose your cool then, because you got to be able to get through it. I don't agree with that statement at all, because it's like, what are you applying it to? It's all very vague.
Dead eyes moment, when their emotional mask momentarily slips, revealing a complete absence of genuine feeling behind their performance.
Yeah, Rebecca again.
This isn't someone being reserved or stoic. It's a neurological inability to feel emotions the way normal humans do. Their emotional expressions are learned behaviors, not
narcissism, self-centered nonsense, and doing stuff ad nauseum, tirelessly, without any sense of prioritization. But the effort is, how do I look around people that, because I think they know just how fucking whack they are, but they can't ever directly confront that, because they just can't. So they put forth a lot of effort into manipulating people's perception of them. And in that way, they can also, when somebody who knows them better is finally tired of their shit, they're not going to be perceived as the one that's in the wrong. And they don't know anything about you except for what that crazy bitch told them or hinted at. Meanwhile, always being completely different in their spaces, like around them, than they are around you. Manipulation.
experiences. The third sign appears in their personal narratives, stories designed to weaponize your compassion against you. Have you ever felt inexplicably compelled to protect someone whose victim stories later proved suspicious?
Yes.
You likely encountered this next tactic. Sign 3.
Or when they know that they can manipulate with you because you're a good dad. And you'll be goddamned if you let somebody push you out of that, being there every day. Being part of their life on a daily basis. And then, they can do whatever they want to you then.
Victimhood. The third psychopathic indicator is tactical victimhood. Elaborate, emotionally manipulative narratives of persecution that position them as innocent victims deserving special treatment, loyalty, and resources. Unlike genuine victims.
Yeah. There's plenty of stories that don't seem to add up. Maybe there was some trauma. Maybe there was some bad things that happened, but everybody could point to something, right? And say, that was pretty bad when I went through it, but I didn't become you.
Psychopaths craft persecution stories with strategic precision. Research from Oxford's Department of Experimental Psychology shows that psychopaths excel at creating emotionally compelling narratives that bypass rational evaluation. Their victim stories follow a pattern. They were exceptional in some way, others were jealous, they were betrayed despite their goodness, and now they need your help, loyalty, resources to overcome this injustice. These narratives contain subtle inconsistencies, but create such strong emotional pull that questioning them feels wrong. They're designed specifically to extract sympathy, disable your critical thinking, and position them as deserving of special accommodation. This isn't someone who's been genuinely victimized. It's a predatory tactic to disarm and manipulate. The fourth sign manifests in how they approach relationships, revealing their fundamentally parasitic nature.
Every trait that goes to the manipulation realm, you can just scream "oy vey" at the top of your lungs, and it will apply.
Sign 4, parasitic lifestyle. The fourth psychopathic indicator is resource extraction, a pervasive pattern of exploiting others for financial support, housing, connections, status, or even emotional supply.
How is that not describing a female when you say the financial support, the housing? Come on, man.
Research from the University of British Columbia's Forensic Psychology Department shows that psychopaths view relationships exclusively as resource acquisition opportunities.
And think about that. Like, imagine if the person, has a child with you, and the rest of the time they're trying to convince themselves that they had their child for more than the security in their life, because they know that they can now manipulate you forever. But so they have to try to convince themselves by playing the part daily that they actually have feelings for their child. They probably don't.
Targeting people based on specific assets they want to extract. They identify what you have that they want: money, connections, status, housing.
And here's where it comes apart, because if you do actually feel an attachment to your child, then why would you want to traumatize them by purposefully manipulating their emotions by screaming at the other parent? Because don't you understand that that's going to harm them and their relationship with the other parent? So you don't really care about the child, you care about you. You care about how you can manipulate their perception of the other parent. And that's evil, that's demonic. And when you're doing that, if you don't understand that you're putting trauma and changing the way they behave and harming them by doing that, what kind of fucking person are you? And if you have to be told, hey, don't argue, take it as this, let's take this to the side, let's not do this in front of, why would we do that? There's a better way to do this as adults, because then that would defeat the whole purpose of getting everybody paying attention to you, screaming your head off, and somehow, even though you're acting like the maniac, it's the other person's fault for making you feel that way. Because you're the bully. Bully. What? The fuck is wrong with you?
Skills, and create a relationship specifically to gain access to it. What they appear to give always comes with hidden costs and future leverage. A critical warning sign is when they begin isolating you from others who might recognize their pattern. They systematically separate you from anyone who might warn you about what's happening.
Yep.
This isn't someone going through a temporary rough patch. It's a lifelong pattern of calculated exploitation. The fifth sign reveals their most disturbing trait, one that becomes apparent only after they've gained control. We've covered 4 critical indicators of psychopathy, but the final sign is the most dangerous because it reveals their true motivation, something far more disturbing than mere self-interest or manipulation.
Pokemon cards.
Sign 5, calculated destruction. The fifth psychopathic indicator is recreational destruction, a pattern of deliberately harming others for minimal gain or pure entertainment, revealing a fundamental enjoyment of suffering. Unlike normal conflict, psychopathic harm is calculated and often seemingly purposeless. Research from Harvard's psychology department shows that psychopaths experience genuine pleasure when witnessing others' distress, activating reward centers in their brains.
Oy vey!
Create elaborate...
Hey, that sounds like a Bolshevik and all the women that they've ruined through feminism.
Conflicts between friends, spread devastating rumors, or reveal secrets with precise timing.
And see, the funny thing about feminism is it's not even has to be a direct effect of the feminist ideals in that person. It could have been something that eroded their family 2 generations ago, and that just the baggage and destruction of the family unit, the ripple effect of that is what is still caused by that first initial I don't need a man type of feeling that someone had, and then that person didn't grow up with a dad, so now they don't think that, they don't understand that a father has a role. They don't appreciate or value that role, and they think that they can do without it. So essentially, it's still kind of like the feminism thing, but in a different way in their mind, right? It's just they didn't grow up with one, so they made it this far, even though they're completely fucking insane, and they're still trying to get their daddy's approval. They still resent you, right? Because now you're that dad that they never had. So now, even though you're doing good right by them, they resent you for it, even though they owe their entire existence and the stability in their life on you. They resent you for it because now that means that they feel that dependency. They want to feel independent, but when they have been independent, they turn their lives into shit every fucking time. So seeing that it's better with you when they want and need you to be the bad guy and you're not, it makes them even more infuriated with you. There's no gratitude and there's no appreciation. Not that I know anything about this, because I don't, totally. I'm just blowing smoke out of my bum.
to cause maximum damage. They systematically test boundaries with small cruelties to assess what you'll tolerate before escalating. Most disturbing is their tendency to target the most vulnerable, children, animals, elderly, or those already struggling, not for any gain, but because defenseless targets provide easier suffering with less consequence. This isn't someone being insensitive.
That's completely oive. Disarm, put in a fishbowl, and then torture, and take your time torturing. Bolsheviks did that. They did it in Gaza. They do it to us. They poison us. Do all kinds of stuff. Send us off to the war. And they get kicks off it because you served them now.
It's a neurological reward response to causing pain. Now that you recognize these 5 signs, let's discuss how to safely escape a psychopath's
And this is what's sick about it, is that there'll be some retarded, misguided female or not even will come up and say, well, what happened to them to make them that way? It's like, well, what happened to me that I was able to deal with to not become that? So it's not an excuse. And when you're creating victims and when you're ruining other people's lives, you no longer are the victim. You're the victimizer. You're the predator pretending to be the prey.
The escape plan. The most effective escape strategy is what psychologists call the gray rock method, becoming so boring and unresponsive that the psychopath voluntarily seeks more stimulating targets. Direct confrontation is dangerous and counterproductive. Research from the Psychopathy Research Unit shows that psychopaths respond to direct challenges with escalating aggression and calculated revenge.
I honestly think that my face must give off some really strange looks when I'm just thinking. Because, or if I don't want to engage in something, because if certain maniac that I know doesn't get any response out of me, that's enough to make them continue to try to press and like try to get. They absolutely need that trigger. They need you to play in their LARP, right? And they need you to behave in the way that they predict that you will. And when you don't engage, when you're tired of their shit, they just go harder at it so they can work up the argument. It's just living in hostility all the time. It's crazy.
Instead, gradually reduce your emotional responsiveness. Provide minimal information.
So when you say nothing and do nothing and give them nothing to work on, that's when they get mad at you because now you're really a bad person. You got to be a real bad person now because you're not even saying anything. I know what that look means. I know what that is. You're so disgusted with. What is that disgusted look on your face? Like what? It's fucking what?
About your life. Become predictable and uninteresting. Avoid displaying fear, anger, or distress, as these emotions.
So be an emotionless bitch. Just be like that. Yeah, just let them poke you with the sharp objects and just try not to bleed too hard and don't give them anything to go off of. Or not. I mean, yeah, that works sometimes. This works with evil, right? Evil hates being ignored. So I guess, in a sense, you got to branch out and spend your time with other people that aren't psychos so that you don't only have one person to talk to, because then you'll end up talking to the one person you shouldn't tell anything to, right? You gotta make other acquaintances or friends that you can say things to and blow off your steam that way, that you have a common ground with, so as everything that happens, you don't have to relay to them or talk to them about it or, express, because it's just not good. It's not good because that means now you're back in the yo-yo thing, right? It's like now they're listening and they're interacting and they're being nice because that's what they feel like doing at that moment, and then it's just going to go back to shit again. So find another person to communicate with so you don't have to communicate with them. Fear is on top of that, X. Way to go.
They're rewarding to them. Simultaneously, document everything, secure your essential resources, and quietly build a support network without...
Yeah, paperwork doesn't work, though. You need video and audio. Because I'm sure they're collecting that on you. And every little thing that you text to them, I'm sure they're saving and posting somewhere so they can build their stupid freaking one-sided bullshit perception Their perspective of you and others.
Knowledge. The key insight is understanding that psychopaths require emotional engagement.
Oh shit! I meant to tell you. I don't. If you weren't here for the Dr. Glidden, here, let me stop this for a second because yeah. If you weren't here for Dr. Glidden, he wasn't here, so that's okay. I'm just gonna do that because you asked a stupid question. Later. You want to talk shit? Guess what? Oh yeah, okay. Cool. There you go. Now you're both gone. I don't know who you are. I didn't waste my time trying to figure it out. You're not actually here for like anything purposeful or meaningful. So just take off. Azure Standard, the whole food multivitamin is not on sale, but like everything else is like 30% off. Like this one's still that, but that one's super important. But look at this. The Alaskan cod liver oil right now is 30% off. It's only $20, and then you have your code, and then you're gonna get money back. I placed an order today. Didn't really have the money, but I got the core copper because that was super cheap, $19, and then I got the Fulvic-Humic blend, which is a super freaking discount right now. Like even the IP6 Supreme right now is super discounted, 30%, and then the Fulvic-Humic blend is $35. It's usually $50, and that lasts you 3 months. So naturally, since I haven't had it in a while, I got it today. I ordered it. That and the copper. That's all I could really get today. But that's pretty awesome. Look at this one. This is the 415 milligram size for the kid size. Like they're smaller nitrogen capsules. I say that because it's not oxidation. It's not a free radical cod liver oil, which is good. But that was only $17 for it. That's nuts. The ones that are bigger, the 1200 milligram ones, I think those ones are something like, what did I say? I saw it up here. It's like 19 or something. 20.96. That's still super cheap. Just make sure you look at the words really carefully because that one does say unflavored. Someone will say some funky flavor that, I mean, if it's a capsule, it might not make a difference, but if it was like they have the bottles of them, and I couldn't imagine what cinnamon or mint fish tastes like. So it's not something I want to figure out either. I don't want to experience that. Where were we?
Either positive or negative. By providing neither, you become an unsatisfying target they'll eventually abandon. Let me explain why traditional approaches to conflict resolution fail catastrophically with psychopaths. Think about how you normally handle relationship problems. With psychopaths, these exact approaches will make your situation dramatically worse. Why normal methods fail.
Because they're not normal.
Traditional conflict resolution strategies fail with psychopaths because they lack the neurological capacity for the emotions these approaches target.
It's called, right, because you treat them like an adult and they have a 7-year-old mentality, arrested development, and spoiled brat behavior, selfishness.
Target. Appeals to empathy fail because they cannot feel it.
Right.
Requests for fairness fail because they see exploitation as their right.
But there's another thing there too. They're too busy feeling like they're trying to really force that feeling as if it's valid that they're the ones under attack when they're the ones screaming. And that, can I talk? Can I talk? It's like, you're screaming over the top of me when I'm trying to explain my side because you're obviously misunderstood or you're going off on a tangent here and it's not necessary to be this crazy about it, but you're not letting me explain myself. So I raised my voice so I could be heard over your screaming. And I guess that was the mistake, right?
Heart-to-heart conversations provide them with ammunition about your vulnerabilities. Setting boundaries creates a challenge they feel compelled to violate. Neuropsychological research from the University of Montreal shows that psychopaths process social interactions through entirely different brain regions than normal humans.
That's why they make firearms, right? I was kidding. I was thinking in lines of like, bad people that try to hurt your family.
Literally cannot engage with emotional or moral appeals. Most dangerously, couples
just very calmly.
Therapy or mediation with a psychopath.
They should have put the beard on her. That thing you really knew was AI.
typically worsens outcomes
Or maybe
as
not.
they manipulate the mediator and gather information about exactly which approaches affect you most deeply.
Yeah, they go to counseling for sure. And meanwhile, they tell themselves that they're fixed. They fix themselves because they're so special. They're really right. They're looking for ammo to manipulate.
This isn't a communication problem. It's a fundamental neurological difference that cannot be bridged. The recovery process from psychopathic manipulation requires understanding the unique nature of this trauma. The recovery process. Healing from psychopathic manipulation differs from other trauma recovery because it involves rebuilding your fundamental trust in your own perceptions. Psychopaths create what Harvard trauma specialists call coercive control, systematically dismantling your reality testing until you doubt your own experiences and judgment. Recovery begins with validation.
No, that's what pisses them off is when that doesn't work.
Confirming that your experiences were real and your reactions normal. This often requires specialized therapy with clinicians experienced.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not. Yeah, you can just go to a confessional too, because that's totally not like the feds or Facebook. No, that's totally not like an interrogation when you're willfully giving it over, so it's not really interrogation, but it's utilized in the same way and it's put in a file. Yeah, no, fuck that.
Instant psychopathic abuse. The most crucial element is understanding that the profound bond you felt was a neurochemical response to their intermittent reinforcement pattern, creating addiction-like attachment that mimics but fundamentally
that's not a factor in this situation, but okay.
Differs from genuine love. With proper support, survivors typically experience a distinctive moment of clarity when the psychopath's behaviors suddenly appear transparent rather than confusing. The first step toward complete recovery. Let me address the most common question. Can psychopaths change with enough love, understanding, or therapy?
Nope.
The hard truth. The scientific consensus on psychopathy presents a difficult truth. This condition is essentially untreatable with current methods. Unlike most psychological
there's one method, but it's frowned upon.
Psychopathy involves fundamental structural and functional differences in the brain, particularly in regions governing emotional processing, empathy, and moral reasoning.
It's called a demon in a skin suit. Yeah, we get it. There's a Dybbuk. Yeah, we get it.
A comprehensive 30-year study from the University of California.
They can burn all the sage that they want, but they're the demon. So it's not gonna exercise themselves.
Followed psychopathic individuals through various treatment programs. The disturbing finding, therapy often made them more effective at manipulation by teaching them the language of emotions and recovery without the corresponding internal experience.
And man, when you throw it in their face, when you let them know exactly what you think of that, and that they have no real true human emotions, oh, that's a fun one. That's a fun one.
The most ethical clinical approach now focuses on risk management and harm.
And I used to think that was what they call like borderline personality disorder, and it might be. These are all just stupid labels and terms, but yeah, no, demon works. Parasite, whatever the hell it is. It's definitely that doesn't take away from their responsibility or their, because it's not. I'm just saying there's something. If they don't operate like other human beings, at least what you're supposed to believe the majority of the people that behave like, and they're destructive of all the positive things, then they're probably a demon of some sort, or easily manipulated by one.
Production, rather than attempting to create empathy where the neurological hardware doesn't exist. This isn't pessimism. It's the current scientific understanding of a neurological condition that fundamentally alters how a person processes social and emotional information. Let me leave you with the 5 critical signs and the most important insight about psychopathic manipulation.
Gulags for the oys.
The 5 signs of psychopathy: weaponized charm, emotional emptiness, tactical victimhood, resource extraction, and recreational destruction form a
Is that supposed to be recreational or is it recreational?
That separates true psychopaths from merely difficult people. The most crucial insight is understanding that psychopaths aren't just making different choices. They're
and by the way, chaos in here, chaos outside in their environment. So if you happen to notice that there's a particular person in your life that's not really responsible when it comes to cleaning up after themselves, or they collect a bunch of bullshit that doesn't have any purpose, because chaos here is chaos there. If they don't tidy things up, chaos here is chaos there. They create the chaos in their environment, because it's a chaos is stemming from this fucking mess in there.
With fundamentally different neurological equipment. Their behavior isn't personal, but predatory. Knowledge is your strongest protection. By recognizing these patterns early, you can avoid becoming deeply entangled with someone neurologically incapable of genuine care.
Oh, and I should tell everybody, if you're still watching, there's a meteor shower tonight. There was, if you were in Spain or in the Arctic or some other places, there was a solar eclipse that you would have seen from that perspective, that vantage point. And there is a six planets aligning: Neptune, Saturn, of course, Uranus, some other ones. That was happening tonight, or had happened in the morning. I don't remember when it happened, but that did happen as well. So it's a really weird night. It'd be really good for the cultish people to be doing some fucked up shit. The moon is a new moon, I think they call that. So it's like darker sky, so you can see the meteors, the meteor shower better. And at 2:30 my time to 4:30, they said it's going to be the best time to go view it. So just a heads up, if you guys, want to see something that doesn't happen very often, and you're awake, and where your time zone is, it's not going to be bright in the next hour, then check it out. Go outside.
If you've already experienced this type of manipulation, remember, your inability to comprehend their behavior wasn't naivety. It was your healthy brain struggling to understand someone wired completely differently from you.
Right. Somebody illogical, irrational, unreasonable, and illogical. Did I say illogical?
Most reliable protection isn't becoming less trusting of everyone. It's becoming more aware of these specific, research-validated patterns that signal genuine danger.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
genuine danger.
Psychopaths count on your doubt and disbelief. Trust your instincts when something feels wrong, document everything, and prioritize your safety over their feelings. Your well-being depends on it.
These people are a fucking mess. Wow. I still think that they're Epstein's children. Half. The moment police realized she was a soulless monster, except for it's from Matosi, and I don't like that guy. Saintsaholic, I don't really care for him either. I think they're all kind of retarded. Let's go to this one. Do drugs and live for 1 hour and think you won. What does that mean? Black Jigger, he's doping. Is a cloud cover here. Too many city lights where I'm at. It is also other bullshit here. Let's do this real quick. Oh, did you guys already ruin it? Or like get rid of it? Oh, it showed up. All right, so we got. I hope that your only claim to fame isn't that you have better mayonnaise in Japan. I would feel bad for that. The conspiracy, you need to take your pet Homo erectus back to Africa where it won't be another homeless pet requiring millions of dollars each from $8 million each from civilization. Whatever happened to Quiznos? That's a good question. I haven't seen a Quiznos in years, says Turf Jockey. Anything with... Man, this person's hungry or something. In Japan, you call it that, really? Yeah. That's a California roll here. Except there's a little bit of crab in it, too. But it does have avocado and cream cheese, actually. Let's see. It's amazing what a bad marketing campaign can do. I always thought they had a decent sandwich. Oh, you're talking about Quiznos again? Still, everybody's talking about food. Let's see. My wife used to get so pissed when I'd tell her that this person or that person was no good. Eventually, she would figure it out that I was right. Now she just goes with it. That's cool. Yeah, you can kebab a Kabbalist, right? A Kabbalist. Do a little Vlad the Impaler. It's a lonely AI world. Yes, right? It's everything that is lazy. And Edward Snowman says, I'll bet a sacrifice mob of aggressively envious Homo erectus barge from Africa thinks like that. It's soothing to them when they cause chaos. Silence makes them paranoid. Yeah. Twitchy brains. Sayonara Inshingo. Ishigo. You ever notice that the signs could qualify anyone and everyone? Exactly. Well, that's kind of why they do that. Because once you become a dissident or you're pushing back on the communistic government, then I don't understand why people, like, it's so funny too. Like, this has nothing to do with politics. What do you mean political prisoners? Like, you don't understand what that term means. That's why. It's when you're manipulating something to get them out of your way and you're persecuting somebody simply because they're become a nuisance to you, not because they've actually done anything. That's a political person. That's when it's the system doing it to somebody. That's like they call it a political prisoner. Like, oh, that's not. And then people like I've heard lawyers like, this is that Tate thing that doesn't have to do with politics. I'm not saying that they're right about calling themselves political prisoners, but I just also noticed that these people who are rich lawyers, you would think would understand that terminology, especially if it's utilized in a court setting, and they're retards. They're like, it doesn't have anything to do with Democrats or Republicans. Like, what? You don't understand what a political prisoner is then, do you? It's got nothing to do with like political parties. It has to do with leveraging government or an institution or a a bunch of psychiatrists or psychiatrists or psychologists to deem somebody mentally ill simply because they have a trait that's irritating to a tyrannical force. Like when they tell you patriotism is a mental illness, that type of thing. You'd be better off asking what's not wrong with them. Otherwise, you'd be here a while. Ooga booga Homo erectus. They are retarded Homo erectus sacrifice junkies and sorcerers. Yeah, said an N-word. Turf Jockey says, nothing pleases me more than the thought of leftist Marxists retiring to India. And then they get to roll and poop. The land of Apu and Poo. Nice. I didn't read that ahead. Sounds like the hollow, as in empty cost narrative. Yes. Just another shower. Right. Yeah, God forbid you make them bathe. You're killing us. It's like, what are you, the Wicked Witch? There's no business like show up business. That's hilarious. That was so much. Irva says, look at the bright side. You're an F1 racer. Well, race car. How do we get back to lesbian singles again? This sounds very antiseptic. Too many city lights with it. Yeah. Those Japanese pancakes look really... I'm not sure if these troglodytes were being lethargic or they ran out of material tonight. That's funny. And try to give... Oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't ever hit the subscribe button, so they're useless. They never drop anything into the chat, and they sure as hell don't go to the buy me a coffee. So I don't feel bad about clicking. You have the potential, or you're asking stupid questions, and you're not even part of the conversation that everybody else is having. That's a regular here. You came into their bar, motherfucker. You know, I'll be happy to bounce them. I don't know who the fuck these people are. You can't behave. Get the hell out of here. I don't owe you fucking shit. Let's see. Try to give the benefit of the doubt to some of the others. Nah. For what? Because they've done so much for us? Shut up. Telling them to shut up, not you. Edward Snowman says, but if a psycho acquires servants, a girl who wants more can seduce him and with her love erase every trace of who he was. And she can be pampered by servants happily ever after, like Beauty and the Beast. Oh, that's a really messed up story when you get down to it, too. Beauty was a little cuck queen and brought other little mistresses to the Beast. Yeah, that the Gaston guy or whatever, like the way that they portrayed all that was very inverted by Disney. I watched something about that. It was pretty interesting, like some of the really deep-seated weird shit. Oh, not to mention the fact like Ariel's like 13 or 14. Wow. I did that. I was watching. Oh, okay, cool. We still have the picture here. That's what I was looking for. Look at that thing. It ran to the ground. The jokes write themselves. I should have asked AI to write SS scissors on there. All right, where are we at for time? 2:15 and it's late. If I didn't get such a late start, I would have done more. But let's just call it something. Call it a name, I guess. All right, so you know where I broadcast to, and you're here, so it doesn't, you don't need to know what other places are. But you should probably totally be subscribing over to the YouTube channel for the Wisdom Fitness AZ. So somebody over there, I know that the guy. He's a good guy. That guy. The Buy Me a Coffee link is here. And YouTube Wisdom Fitness I showed again. There's also the Twitter and the Telegram group for that. And then my website where you can get to everything, right? So you can click Dr. Peter Glidden there. You can use code FitWit or Ballbusters for 25% off on the membership site. And man, I've been watching all the videos lately. And there's so many important things in there that I'm going to try to take little pieces out and apply it to some of the stuff that I'm talking about on the other channel. Because it's good. It's good stuff. And it's coming from an authority. A good authority, though. And then code BB5 for a total of grand total now of 45% off, basically, because this link is 10% cheaper than the Azure Living Well site where they intend to sell the supplements at. They kind of separate it from the whole Azure standard store where you can get a bunch of other shit. But my code works on both sites. Why start off at 10% higher though? You go to this link just by clicking the picture, and when you apply my coupon code and some of the sales that are going on right on the 90 essential nutrients that we focus on, holy shit, now's the time to get them if you're going to get them. Stock up. Get thousands of dollars of it. All right, there you go. So the Whole Food Multivitamin is the only one that I know of that's not really on sale right now, but that one's goes on sale frequently. And then you have, yes, even the core copper is 30% off. Yes, even the Alaskan cod liver oil is 30% off. Crazy. And then, like, I jumped on it, and I'm poor. IP6 Supreme, that's usually $46 or something like that. $31 right now. And that one lasts me a long time. I didn't pay that cheap for it, but that one lasts me a long time. And then the Fulvic-Humic blend, I can't tell you when the last time was I have it. The last time I had one of these, Dr. Monzo was still selling it directly from his site. So that's been some time. I think it was like $70 back then or something like that. So the core copper is on sale. Whole Food Multivitamin is not, but this thing is going to last 3 months if it's just me taking it, which I'm going to try to. Minerals are important, so I'm going to try to get the one I care about here to try it because it's flavorless, really. So don't be confused though, because there's an IP6 Supreme with an inositol here that is capsules, and that one's not on sale. But the one that's a powder you can scoop yourself is. And I would prefer that one anyway. Just mix it with some water. I could take a couple amino acids and creatine anyway in the morning. So, oh yeah. And there's all kinds of crap here, right? And then when you stop seeing them with a price listing, that means that those ones are out of stock at the moment. But there's a bunch of stuff here. Nerve support. Who needs a sinus support? Gallbladder one. This is one of Dr. Alonzo's. He keeps putting emphasis on this one. What's that? Artichoke, milk thistle, turmeric, cilantro. I wonder if there's piperine in it. I don't see it. I thought turmeric gets processed without being used if you don't have turmeric. If you don't have the black pepper extract, pushing it past your liver, I guess, because liver gets stopped so that it doesn't break it down. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought curcumin wasn't able to be passed along, or not very much of it. Burdock. Yeah, that's actually it's a homeopathic thing too. Fennel is those. Remember salami back when you were younger? It wasn't round. It was like oval. Maybe it's because I lived in a place that had a shit ton of Italians, right? And there was fennel seeds in it. I used to love that fennel seed. And yeah, everything tastes better when you're getting it from like a deli that's cutting it for you, and you got like just all Italians everywhere, and your parents own an Italian restaurant. Like, you learn to really like and you learn to love food when it's good, right? And you know how to be kind of to stuff that's not so good. So taurine is apparently cheap. I think those are capsules. I have a bunch of bulk here. I might spin off another couple supplements onto the website. And I think I'm going to change the label so it's the Fit Wit one. So instead of having... That one might stay the same simply just because we already have the label made, but maybe not. Maybe I'll make that into the Fit Wit label. And then there's the sauces and Paradas for 15% off, kids. You can get all there from here. Okay, 15% off Paradas. And then Dr. Glidden's membership site, Azure Standard, the list that you would like to give it on to get the 90 essential nutrients, and then we're out. And link the video for you. What's that? Who's you guys talking about? Let's see. Did this lesbian seagull really go down with the ship? No, I don't think so. Nuremberg was a show at trial. Yeah. You'll never believe it. I bought you a coffee. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Is the Fulvic-Humic blend a mineral? Yeah, it's minerals, yes. Minerals and the antioxidants you need to actually absorb them more. It's your essential nutrients. So it's like the plant-derived minerals, except it's dry form. Oh, there it is. What's this? God damn it. Oh. And it's on Hulu, of course.
Boy, you know, I've always wanted to come in here, and now that I got a mustache, the timing feels right.
Wow, all this stuff looks pretty good. Can we get some salami and...
Brian, let me handle this. Scusi, babidi-boopy? Che cosa?
Peter, what are you doing?
Speaking Italian. Babidi-boopy? Babidi-boopity-babidi-babidi.
Peter, you can't speak Italian just because you have a mustache.
Boopity-bapa. Boop-a-beep-a-boop-a-bapa-beep-a-bapa.
Tu sei un pazzo, va via da qui! Sono stanco di te, ti do un pugno nella testa! Ti uccido con questa carne!
All right. What? What am I looking at? Oh, that's funny. That's good.